Hey, I'm Rocky the Eclipse, and I'm here with Tuomas from Nightwish. How you doing?
Doing great, thanks.
Did I get that right?
Tuomas, yes, it was one of the best I ever heard.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Um, uh, yeah, Dark Passion Play, new album. Well, not so new, but your latest album marks a new era for the band. Namely, you have a new lead singer, Annette. Out of 2,000 submissions, or over 2,000 submissions, what what about her stuck out that you chose her over everyone else?
Well, first of all, it was about the voice. It kind of struck immediately. Everybody this sounds really good. I mean, it's totally different from Tarja's, but it still has the power and the emotion and the versatility that we were after. But then again, we had no idea what kind of person she was, so we invited her over to Finland, spent a couple of days together, and the chemistry was there instantly also, which I think is even more important thing. Then we met a couple of times again, and in the end it was like a matter of heart. You just felt that this is the right girl. There were quite a few really good candidates, but at the end it was kind of like a battle between two people, and it was just like the heart told you that Annette would be the one. And now after about a year and a half, we haven't regretted the choice once.
Yeah, she has a very nice voice, quite a bit different than Tarda. I don't know if I pronounced her name correctly, but give it a shot. But what did you guys go into this audition process thinking you don't want an operatic style voice or something totally different because you don't want an exact clone of your previous lead singer?
That was the only thing that we knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had no idea what the female voice should sound like. We didn't have the exact profile built in our head. The only thing we knew that we don't want to have another classically trained operatic singer, because Tarja was so good at that. So it was time to find somebody else doing something different. I mean, if we would have taken something like her, she would have always been considered as a copycat, no matter how good she would have been. Just my humble opinion, but I think this was the only proper way to do it.
As a fan, I think it's probably the best direction that you guys took, because like you say, you don't want to clone. You'd have constant comparisons. I mean, Annette would probably always be compared to the original lead singer, but I think what I hear now is a lot of people are disappointed that they don't hear a lot of the older stuff on this tour, because obviously you're playing a lot of new songs from the new album.
Well, there's a reason why this is called Dark Passion Play Tour, and you're kind of promoting the new album. Exactly. And also you've just come out with a new album. Naturally you want to play the new songs, gives you the vibes better than the old ones, but we're still playing actually a lot of the old songs as well, and at least even over half of the set list is from the back catalog, so they're still there, and we're changing the songs also quite a bit every now and then. So
now Marco, your bassist who does the backup vocals, he's kind of stepped up and he's doing a lot of his backup vocals are more prominent on this album, especially, and he's even done lead on The Islander, I think it's called, and a couple of B-sides. Going into this album, did you want to take advantage of the fact that he is able to sing? Very good. Very well.
We didn't actually think about that in advance. It kind of happened naturally, and I think the main reason for this was that on the new album there are so many lyrics that we cannot put into Annette's mouth. So we just had to give them for Marco to sing, and that's why. And also The Islander, that's a song written by Marco, and he humbly asked if he could sing the lead vocals in that song. So that's the reason. I don't know, and Annette feels really, really happy about that, because it's not so much like a female voice-oriented band anymore. There's two actual lead singers now, which fits everybody perfectly.
So how does that change things for you does it change anything for you as a writer? Like, you write all the music and all the lyrics. Does that add another dimension that you're like, oh, now I've got this other intangible that I can use when it comes to Nightwish music?
Yeah, I feel so blessed and lucky to have this kind of band with me, because these guys can do anything. I have one of the best metal voices, male voices, and also female voices in the same band. So it gives me immense possibilities when it comes to songwriting. So I feel really blessed about that.
Because before we came out of the venue, Fred and I were watching End of an Era, the live DVD, and she commented on Marco's voice, like, wow, he kind of sounds like James LaBrie from Dream Theater, but a little bit lower. I'm like, I never ever thought about that.
I never thought about that either.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably because we just saw Dream Theater a couple days ago, but she remarked that he's got the same range as James, but it's a little bit lower register. But I thought, hey, we'll go with it. Maybe you can tell him next time you see him, Marco. Hey, you just got compared to James LaBrie.
I will. When I go back to the bus, that's the first thing I'm going to tell him.
I remember reading on Blabbermouth, the infamous internet, on the previous album, or when Marco started doing a lot of the backup vocals, that you guys were possibly lead him into the lead singer position. But was that ever a consideration for you guys?
Not even for a microsecond. Nightwish has always been a female-fronted band, and it always will be. I'm pretty sure about that. Marco's role has grown a lot during the past 5-6 years, but I can't imagine Marco singing Nemo or Sleeping Sun ever. So those songs are made for a female voice, and that's how it's gonna stay.
Now, with these submissions that you had, did you get any male submissions for the audition? Really?
Yeah, I think there were like 3 illiterate ones who couldn't read that we actually were looking for a female singer or something. Or maybe they just wanted to try out their wings, or I don't know. But yeah, there was 3 out of 2,000.
I guess you might as well give it a shot, and the worst you can say is no.
Yeah.
Now, the album starts off with Poet and the Pendulum, the 14-minute track, or nearly 14 minutes. Do you think, was that a calculated move on you guys, or was that, because that could be a bit of a risk starting off an album with such an epic journey, especially with a new singer, all attention's on the new album or whatever?
One thing we never ever do is calculate, so no, this was not calculated. The Poet and the Pendulum, the story needed a long song. That's why it ended up being so long. It's not there because we need to have a long song on the album. The story just needed a long song, and I always try to avoid cliches to the maximum. So to put the massive song as the last track of the album would be kind of cliche. So we thought we reverse it. And there's also a little bit of that like show-off feeling, we can do whatever we want, a little shocker for the fans to put this epic as the first track. And what really surprised me was that when I told about this idea to the other members in the band, to the record labels, everybody said, yes, this is the perfect idea. I really thought that, yeah, even the record label said that, yeah, this is perfect.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. They were backing us up 100%, even though it sounded like a commercial suicide in a way, but it paid off.
Well, there's a lot of ebb and flow in that in the first song. There's fast parts, slow parts too. So I guess, really it could be considered several songs in one, but it's just like one long track for you guys. So. Yeah,
exactly. And does it really matter in the end? I don't know.
No, just looking on your website, nightwish.com, looking at the history of the band, it says, midnight July 1996 Campfire. You wrote 3 songs in acoustic that kind of led to the formation of Nightwish. Is that basically how it happened for you guys?
It sounds overly romantic, but it's actually the truth.
Oh, really?
Yes, we were, me and a few friends of mine, sitting around a campfire, and I just had the idea that I want to start doing acoustic, like campfire music, like Boy Scout, atmospheric, whatever music. Yeah. That was like the idea. And Nightwish ended up doing just 3 songs with that concept, and then it ended up being really, really boring. There's only so much you can do with acoustic guitar and piano and a voice. Yeah. So that's how it all started, though.
Okay, that's a good lead up to my next question. Like, how did those songs turn into what Nightwish music is now? Because like you said, you can only do so much with acoustic guitar, but you add so many classical and epic elements to the music now.
Just a natural development. At that time there were like Tarja, Emppu, Jukka and me were in the band, and the guys in the band, we had a metal background already, so it was kind of natural process to, okay, let's keep the soul image of the band the same, let's write songs about the same issues, same stuff, keep the atmosphere there, but let's add some distorted guitars and double bass drumming and stuff like that and see what happens. And it's been evolving ever since.
Yeah, exactly.
And I really think that when we do the Swan Song album at some point, maybe in 20 years or whatever, I think that will be like returning to the roots, and the last album Nightwish will ever make would be completely acoustic. that's the way I would like to end this all.
Well, that's hopefully still quite a ways away, though.
Yeah, hopefully. You never know. It's risky business.
Business is a risky business. Now that's for the end of your career, but you're right now, I mean, on your upswing. This is your first tour of Western Canada, and how has the Canadian experience been for you guys?
I really have nothing but positive things to say. We have been to Montreal and Toronto quite a few times, but this is the first time that we actually hit the western part. Yeah. Just been really good. I mean, there's still like 5 shows left to go, so. And, I got this feeling that we're in the middle of nowhere, playing kind of small club, and that's exactly the way everybody in the band likes it, The small venues, the sweat, the slime, the stench of beer, and, people are really close. You can feel the adrenaline flowing, and I just love it.
Yeah, because watching End of an Era, you guys are in this huge arena, huge stadium or huge arena, the big production. Then it's kind of remarkable that I get to see you guys in a small atmosphere. I mean, I like both, but I prefer seeing a band of your stature in a small club like this.
Yeah, the same with me. I enjoy seeing bands in smaller clubs. I mean, I went to see Metallica last summer in the Olympic Stadium in Helsinki, and I was 200 meters away. Sound was kind of crappy, you cannot see the people, so it wasn't the best possible musical experience, even though the atmosphere overall was like fantastic, all the people, but still.
Nothing like the sweaty club though, hey?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, when we play in Europe, it's bigger arenas and there's a special atmosphere over there as well, but it's a whole new experience here.
Now my girlfriend, she's a classically trained musician. She plays piano. She wanted me to ask you guys if there's anyone formerly classically trained at their respective instrument.
I used to play the classical piano and the clarinet for 12, 13 years. And I went to music theory classes and stuff like that. But it was nothing like high class thing or, So I have like the basic knowledge of music theory and how to play the piano, but I still consider myself more as a self-educated musician.
Okay. Now, how do you add? Now, when it comes to that, how do you add all those other elements out of the traditional metal band? Like you've got the big orchestra, the compositions. How do you bring that and get what you're hearing in your head onto what you hear on the CD?
I just think that the orchestra and the choir are a really good sounding keyboard. That's like the way I think. The orchestra is playing what I would be playing if I had 20 hands and really good samplers. Excuse me. So that's the way I think. It's not there because it's cool to have an orchestra. It's there for the sound and for the passion and for the feeling. So it really blends in. I don't know. It just comes to my head. I don't know. I really don't have an answer. I don't want to have an answer. It's just comes here and goes there.
That's the only way it can come out, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
So you have from what I know, we have 2 live DVDs. When can we expect I'm being greedy here as a fan. When can we expect a new DVD with your new singer? Are you guys waiting until you build up more of a catalog with Annette?
Yeah, I think after the next album, there's not going to be a live DVD from this tour. We were actually thinking about doing this mega show with the whole orchestra and the choir and even dancers and stuff like that. And that will happen at some point. But I think we need to have another album with Annette before we can do that.
Okay. So do you guys just kind of toss around an idea, but then, for the betterment of the band and wait, because you do have, you have the 2 DVDs with all your older songs, so it'd be kind of cool to hear the newer songs.
Yeah, exactly. So let's wait a few more years. We have been thinking about this idea for years now and postponing it like 10 times already, but at some point it will happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for taking the time for doing the interview.
No worries. Thank you.
So for the people out there watching, make sure you pick up Dark Passion Play, Nightwish. Do you have anything to say to the fans in southern Saskatchewan?
How do you pronounce that? Now you got me there. Saskatchewan.
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 Yeah.
That's good. It's really cool to be here. I mean, because there's always a really special feeling in being in a place that you've never ever been before. And I really feel like that at the moment. So, thanks for all the support.